Like 3 million beginner to 3-5 players going down a highway. There's going to be a billboard on the highway. It's going to have one message to help them just level up by one level, right? 3-5 to 4, 4 to 4-5. What's the message you give to that person? What do you put on that billboard so they see it?
Easy to learn, hard to master. Because it can be deceiving. People think like, oh, it's just this, it's just that. Easy to learn, hard to master. And then under that, I would put respect the complexity of the game. Like that, to me, that's big. Because what happens is, I've talked to 3-5 players that are like, yeah, I'm playing this group, and if you just do this, then you can, right. I don't understand why so-and-so doesn't. It's not that flat. Probably like an 8-dimensional type of game where there's so many angles and styles. It's not just, yeah, you can beat a banger by doing this. Yeah. All you have to do is, it's not all you have to do. Right. It's more than that. And so when I talk to people that are at really whatever level, you hear a lot of people that say, if they just, you just need to just be careful and understand that there's so many different complexities in this type of game. Yeah. It isn't a flat, just over the net and back and you're good to go. Yeah. And I'm speaking from experience because I thought it was just this and this. It's not, it's more than that. That's
like,
it.
I'm on time 4 playing. I know this guy who's better than me. And I had started to learn, you hit a drop, you move in, maybe not too fast, but get there. And this guy, I kind of conceptually got that. This guy was like, every point, right? He's better than me. It's like, every point is like, do this, do this, do this. And so I would nod my head and be like, yeah, like, I got you.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, like, conceptually, I did get him.
Right.
But then the next point would come around, and all of a sudden,
when do I do what you just told me to?
He was so frustrated because I wasn't doing the thing he told me to do, but I knew I wasn't doing it, and I just felt bad because he was getting pissed, we were losing. And honestly, I was like, dude, you think you know everything. In fact, stop talking to me.
Yeah, that's what people say, hit your third and get to the net right away. Fast as possible. It's like, the game is not that flat. Sometimes that works, and sometimes that doesn't work. But like, you need to explain, and to start off that way is fine. Hit the ball, hit your third and get to the net. I think it's good. But as you progress, that's why I talk about respect the complexity. Don't just say, this is the way it is. Like, go, oh, at 3-0 at this group, that's the way it is. Or at this pro division, it works for this tournament. The next tournament, just be open to that.
That's so good, man. Someone gets me on something over and over in a tournament, I'm like, I've kind of always known that, but I've never put intentional thought to it. It's my memory, and I'm like, that's a breakthrough for me. Have you had any recently? Like is there something you remember that, like, gosh, was a breakthrough for you?
Was rising. I was playing really well. End up graciously being signed with a paddle company. Pro XR comes in, they're like, let's ink the deal, let's do it. And I like put so much pressure on myself to perform. But as you know, like in the pro division, you're not gonna win all your games. So when I started taking losses, my confidence was like degrading slowly because I'm like, wait a minute, I'm sponsored with a company. I'm supposed to be winning. So the recent breakthrough I had was not being so focused on the result and just focused on my own internal confidence, how I play, and then letting whatever result happen from there. And that actually brought back the joy of pickleball. So that's a good breakthrough for me to get back into, like, oh, I like playing, I like competing, I'm having a good time. It was just me overthinking it for myself.
So like, as a competitor, you go 0-2, there's no doubt you're gonna be mad. What you do after that is reshift your mind and your focus back to what you can actually do, which is, what do I do the next day?
Good quote that I've been kind of living by in the last like 3 or 4 months is, stop expecting results from the work you didn't do. Expecting to be one of the top pickleball players, that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. Are you putting in the type of work of a #1 pickleball player? And so I had to like continue to assess that. So for me, I'm like, get back to falling in love with the practice. And that's helped a lot. Every day I wake up 6:30, I go practice for a couple hours. I put in that work. And so when I get out and play, I'm like, am I playing as good as I should be playing based on the practice that I put in? If that's a yes, I can live with it. And I feel like as I continue to do that, nothing can stop me from being one of the top.
There's so many nuances in the game. In the higher level you get, and I'm learning this too, like from being a 5-0 trying to get to the pro level, you think you figured it out, and then you just realize that works against a certain group of people. Gosh, it's so frustrating and exciting at the same time because it's like very chess-like.
For example, I used to feel like I have such like some of the fastest hands, so all I have to do is stand at the net and like I'll just wait for them. So I'll just counter every single thing.
I think
but like, yeah, that works for some teams, but you have to produce your own offense. So I was hindered for a while because I'm like, I don't have to produce offense. I just counter. And as you see the game progress, it's like, wait, the game's more complex than counter everybody.
I know when I get pressured, I miss a lot. And like, or I get into a hands battle and
you don't make all of them.
And so I'm like, you mentioned this, like you're playing the odds a little bit of knowing like, all right, if I'm going to attack, we're probably winning 7 out of 10. And if we lose one, I'm not getting pissed that we lost it. I mean, of course, I'm frustrated. I want to win the point. But it's a little bit like, no, I made the right choice.
Right.
The outcome wasn't what I wanted, but I know this choice will be right 7 out of 10 times.
Right.
Who are you playing? It's always like, you need to do this that way. My mind has shifted so many times from I have to play this way, but I have to play this way. I'm never going to drive early because we just miss, so I'm only going to hit third. So like, no, a good drive at the right time with the right ball against the right player
can work.
You're like, who are you playing against? Do they have weak hands? Do they have strong hands?
Right.
Are they really good thinkers?
A mechanic is going to fix a car. They don't just take a small subset of their tools. They take almost all of their tools to figure out and assess the situation.
You only bring a hammer
and then they go from there. Right.